Are we filming? Yes, we are. Okay, so. Okay, this is. Well, let me start. Let me start with a question of budgets that companies have. When they make a product, they have a certain amount of research and development budget, and then a manufacturing budget, and then a cost of materials budget, or they might outsource the product. This is an outsourced product. It's marketed by Amiga, who make the very, very high-end watches. So this is an Amiga agenda. That's what they called it back in the day. They still. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. They still make pocket-sized and personal-sized binders, but let me just bear with me a second, because I'm just going to just plug in. Thank goodness my studio has the ability to plug in my phones to charge up, because this one here is several years old and the battery is rubbish. But there we go. So Amiga watches make these binders. The personal sized, they make a range of them. They don't make, as far as I can see from their website, they no longer make the this larger sort of A5 style. But the personal sized ones start at, let me just see. I was just looking. They start at £380. Goodness knows how much it would cost for one of these if they were selling them now, but I assume it would be considerably more. So maybe I think that certainly the personal size ones go up into well beyond £400. So maybe one of these new would, if they still made them, would be £500 or £600. I certainly know I've got a filo-fax Bloomsbury, one of my favourite filo-faxes, which cost £280 back in 1984, I believe. And when I put that figure into a inflation calculator, it came out as £683. Now, filo-fax have filo-fax as a company no longer exist. It was absorbed into filofax, and then they dropped it. And I suspect they dropped it because they wanted to. They didn't want exceptionally high quality products knocking their more mainstream high quality, quote, top of the range products. So I mean that's normal in business. You have to have a strategy that, and in a way, to market products that doesn't alienate your customers from the shall we say, the budget options. So we've got a company that still makes these binders, although not this particular size anymore. And I suspect that they started doing it back in the 90s, but maybe earlier than that. Who knows? I don't know. I actually reached out to Amiga watches and said, "Hey, can you give me some information on this?" And they were very interested actually in this particular model, to the extent that they wanted to see photographs. They were very interested. The ladies in the office wanted to see some photographs of this particular binder, which I sent them. And initially they were really, really keen on doing a bit of research, but then I don't know for whatever reason. Then the official line came back saying, I mean, they were very polite about it, but they said, unfortunately, we have a company policy which determines that we don't tell people where and when a product is made, which is fair enough. I mean, who am I to judge? So I don't exactly know when this Amiga was made, but when it comes to budgets, it's very, very clear that if you're charging, shall we say, in this particular case, let's just say that if they made this now, bearing in mind they make personal size ones still, and they charge well over £400 for their top of the range model, and even their budget one starts at £380. Shall we assume that if they made one of these today, it would be £500 for the sake of my argument? And my argument is this, that if you are charging that much money for an object of desire, you can evoke such a level of desire in the potential purchaser that you can charge a fairly big whack. Here am I wobbling the camera. I need to modify my camera and maybe suspend it down from the ceiling rather than stand it on the desk. Patrons would have seen my recent studio tour, which shows exactly how these cameras are mounted, particularly this one. So I might suspend that, but bear with me. I'll try not to wobble. I'm wobbling it because I'm so excited, perhaps, I'm trembling with excitement. I don't know, that sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? But I'm very motivated to share this with you. So we have a company that is charging top dollar for a product. And so there is enough money there in the budget to make the product with the finest materials and the finest skilled workmanship to create something that is seriously high end. Now, I'm not going to mention other brands of organisers, but all I can say is I'm just going to focus on this particular binder and say that this is seriously high end. It actually says, let me see if I can, I don't know whether the light is going to get that, but it actually says in lovely stamping, handmade in England, fine leather. And that is exactly what it is. Let me start by looking at this front logo. There's nothing on the spine. So it's very, very understated. But if I can get the light right, in fact, actually, let me turn these lights on, because here am I struggling with the light. And I suddenly realised it's really dark in here. Oh, let me adjust the exposure there. Okay, so I was suddenly realising why it was so dark. I've been in here. I'll tell you what it is. I've been in here most of the day, and when I'm working on my laptop, I don't have these studio lights on, and so my eyes are adjusted to the dimmer light, and it seems absolutely fine. But I've suddenly realised that, I mean, isn't that amazing that the human eye can adjust for light? And so up until I switch these lights on, the brightness seemed absolutely fine to me. But there we go. So that's an interesting one. But I'm not going to stop because I just want to get this out in one hit because I'm so enthused by this binder, and I want to share it with you. So let's have a look at this this logo. So can I get it right? Yeah. So there it is. That is the only thing on the cover that denotes what it is in terms of manufacture. It is clearly an A5 binder, but it has a secret inside that makes it very, very practical. As I said, this is called an Amiga agenda, and the front logo says it all, really. But let me start with the outer cover. But before that, this is very disjointed, but I'm just talking off the cuff, so bear with me. I don't have a script as such, but when I acquired this a few months ago, I was bowled over by the fantastic smell. It smells better than any other leather binder that I've ever acquired in my life. Fantastic. I feel like this has been sitting on a shelf in a country house. Hence the light fading on the spine. Almost certainly sitting on a shelf, not doing much. There is a little bit of wear on the. There's a bit of what they call shelf wear, because I'm a book dealer as well. But there's slightly more shelfware there on the base than the top, which is almost pristine. But this leather smells fantastic and it looks fantastic, and it is really, really fine leather. It's the sort of thing that you'd expect on a binder costing in excess of £500 if it was new. So let's have a look inside. Oh, before we look inside, let's have a look at the back, because I think this is inspired. Now, those of you who have a linter, who are fans of the Linthurst, I think there are other filofax models that share this feature, but there is a full-length external pocket, and let me just show that. There's a full-length external pocket, and the way the strap is attached and the stitching and the design is absolutely exquisite, as you can tell. It is. I'm running out of superlatives, but it really, if you could hold this and feel this in your hands, and there's an opportunity to do that later on, but I'll get to that later. It's kind of a plug because I'm selling this. And I'll explain why I'm selling it soon. But give me some rope, and I just want to share the quality of this, because partly for me, because once it's gone, I want to look at this video and perhaps realise, well, Neil, maybe you should have kept it. But business is business. So the feature is this pocket, but the strap holds everything in so that things don't fly out if you pick up the binder in a certain way. The paper doesn't fly out everywhere, so I think it's a better design than the Lyndhurst, which has a full-length pocket along the front, whereas this has a full-length pocket on the back. But let's get into the one of the most important things, and you know what I'm going to say when I do this. You know exactly what I'm going to say, and you know exactly how much enthusiasm I'm going to have for this particular binder. because it's a big binder. It's A5 sized, but unlike certain, I'm trying to be very, very kind here, but unlike certain binders where you open it and you have to put your hand round and hold it open, so I call them like a two-handed filofax. This is definitely a one-handed filofax because you can open it and it stays open. It's the fundamental requirement, in my humble opinion, for an organiser for a binder like this. And it is down to the construction methods where I can feel there's a stiffener inside there, but the stiffener ends here, and then there's another one on the other side, and this has got a stiffener too. Quite a firm stiffener, but it ends here. What a simple solution to a perennial problem. And I'll just mention this. If anyone is watching from filofax, my opinion as a consumer who likes one-handed filofaxes is it's perfectly feasible to create one. All you have to do is manufacture them, design them, so that at the point where the filofax bends and creases, you design it you manufacture it in such a way that there is a natural hinge. And okay, that probably adds a little bit to the factory gate price, but these are high profit items, so there ought to be so the percentage increase on the factory gate price, the output price of one of these binders, by making it in such a way that it opens easily and stays open, because that is so fundamentally important. So, I'm banging on here about flatability, aren't I? But forgive me for that, because that is my number one thing. It is so easy to design one of these. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel. All you have to do is buy some binders from other manufacturers, or have a look at previous ones that you guys have made. I'm talking to you guys, filofax. Just have a look at construction, and maybe bring out one or two models that have this construction. I know there are some that are pretty good, but there are many filofax models where the flatability, as I call it, leaves a lot to be desired, which may not be important if you, for instance, okay, so this is a Portland, a mini Portland, which I'm currently using as a wallet. I like to try things around, and if I open this, I mean, there is no flatability with this at all. There's no flatability at all. I might have to censor that because I've shown you all my main contact numbers, but it is not important for this particular. I'm not using this as a one-handed filofax. It is. I'm just using it as a wallet. So flatability is hardly here nor there, but it's certainly important for. And you've done it before. So here we go. This is a filofax. Okay. This is a filofax that you made 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago you were making this filofax. This is a filofax Sherwood, and if you can see, there is no problem with flatability at all, because its designs, the method of construction facilitates perfect flatability. So it can be done. It's not something that has been. It's not like an Egyptian construction method for pyramids that has been lost in time. This is something that is this construction method is within living memory of people. There are people alive today who would have been in the English factory making these, who you could call upon to advise you how to make this. So, is that a bit cheeky? Well, I don't think so, because I'm a consumer that loves the Filofax brand. I love my Portland. I love my Guildford Mini Extra Slim. I'm obviously into vintage Filofaxes mainly, but there are modern ones that I like as well, like the Filofax Kensington. That's one of my favourite ones as well. The Lyndhurst here, that's that wasn't made in England, and I'm very, very happy with the A4 Lyndhurst. So I'm not completely dismissive of Filofaxes that were made after manufacturing in England was ended and moved abroad, but I would like to see more some sort of element of recognition that flatability is an important thing. But anyway, let's look at this Amiga, because I am bowled over by the quality. Look at this fabric. I have noticed that with this camera setup in my studio, it's very, very hard sitting here to try and get the light. But oh crikey, if it didn't come out, I'll look at the video at the end, and I'll leave a photograph. I'll leave some photographs at the end, because just in case it didn't catch it on the video camera, I can add some stills photos at the end of this video, which will make amends. But this is a lovely fabric, and then from a point of view of pockets, you have got 2 full width pockets, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 card pockets. Very, very nice. And they're flush fitting. This isn't flush fitting, but it's just nice. You'd need a dashboard here, so that if you wanted to turn over the page and write, but it's okay. It's okay. And then this green, this matching green ruler. What can I say? I mean, it is what it is, but it's very, very nice. Lovely quality. Amiga stuff doesn't have dates on, which is the reason why I reached out to them in the first place, to find a date. But they were very polite, but they weren't able to help me. Shall we have a look at the inside cover? Again, you've got this fantastic material. It's a bit like the Filofax the fabric that Filofax used with the Filofax logo. It's very, very similar, but it's just nice. Another full length pocket, and let me show you these corners, because they are a masterpiece of workmanship. Very, 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 very nice stitching. There is. It's hand cut, because you can see some variation in the cut there. So it's clearly made by hand, and hand stitched, because if you look along the stitching, there is a very, very fine line of it's clearly a handmade item, and that's fair enough. You've got this lovely logo. I love the logo. It's better than it's more intrinsically satisfying than the sort of. I mean, I'm going to take a photograph of this as well, so and leave that at the end. But the way they stamp that logo is exquisite. So we've got a binder that is incredibly good quality. I'm just going to show you the pen loop, because I go a bundle on pen loops. I don't really use pen loops, but when there's a good pen loop, it really, really stands out. And the construction of this pen loop is exquisite, absolutely exquisite. It's an outbound pen loop, which I really, really like because, it's more expensive to produce, but it means that when you close the binder, the tabs don't push up to you. Can you see that? So if it was inbounds, and say, well, let's do it. Let's actually do it, because this is something that many people complain about. So here we are. Let's just say that is an inbound pen loop. So I'm going to wrap my finger around like that. So I'm closing the binder, and as you can see, it's very, very close to. It's very, very close to pushing. It's touching the pen loop. Now, luckily here, it's an outbound pen loop, and to be honest, even if it was an inbound pen loop, the designer is the width here from here to here is actually I think that's wider from there to there than a filofax A5, but I can't be certain of that. But here is a standard filofax pen, okay. And when I slide it in, you'll see that it's quite loose. It's about a millimetre looser than a standard filofax pen loop. And as we know, the filofax pen loops to a large extent are very, very consistent. Let's do my favourite pen, which is a B2. A G2, and it's just about. It won't go all the way through, but I sometimes modify these pens, these G2s, to fit a filofax pen loop, but that is for another day. But you will find that both informative, enlightening, and perhaps humorous as well. But we'll see. Okay, so what else have we? What else can I say about this? Well, the longevity of this binder. I imagine that. I'm just guessing. I mean, I always look on the bright side, and I can imagine if this was sitting on someone's shelf and it was used occasionally, it might be around in 100 years' time, maybe 200 years. It's that good quality. Finally, these pen loops. I haven't actually measured them, so what I'll do is I will measure the not the pen loops, the rings. I will give you the ring size in the description. Okay, I apologise. I normally measure them, but I have forgotten in my excitement to share this with you. But what I can say is they're very, very firm. It doesn't have a manufacturer on it, but these are very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Fantastic quality, if a little firm, but that's probably because I suspect it hasn't been used. Now, I'm going to point out something that if you haven't spotted it already, there's a difference between this A5 agenda and a filofax A5 binder, and it's this. Let me get a page. Let me find a page. Out of, I see I'm reaching not for an A5 filofax, but I'm reaching for a personal sized filofax. So you might be asking, what's he doing? That's an A5 binder, but he's reaching for a personal sized filofax. But look at this. Okay, personal sized, and it fits the rings. So this is the secret weapon, as it were. This is why this particular A5 Amiga agenda is something that, well, put it this way, the very first filofax desk fax. You know, they initially did a desk fax that was 6 holes rather than 9 holes, and that desk fax had this format where it fitted personal size sheets. So the advantage with this is you can mix and match. So you can have personal size sheets, and you can also fold and get some A5 paper or cut A4 down. You can use a standard filofax personal sized hole punch, and then you're good to go. So you have you can transfer personal size from your personal size diary, shall we say, into this particular Amiga agenda, which you might use for work or something like that. So, this is the important thing, and this is the absolute game changer. Apart from the fact that the quality, the build quality is, I mean, the only way to describe it is exceptional. It is exceptional. What more can I say? But if you are someone, and there are many people out there, as we know, who have an A5 binder and a personal size binder, and they might use one for home and one for work, or one for going out and one for keeping on their desk. But with this setup, with these particular ring spacings, you can move personal size. You can mix personal size sheets with A5 sheets, so long as you have a hole punch and make your own A5 sheets. So I think I'm going to just leave that in there, so that the ultimate buyer of this filofax can instantly see the advantage. So we're coming to the sales plug, but it's also an explanation. So bear with me. Following my recent experiment, where I sold 2 identical filofax jotters, one as an auction and one as a fixed price, in a sort of pseudo Dutch auction format, where I regularly and systematically reduced the price till a buyer was found. I am going to put this on eBay shortly. By the time you watch this, it might already be on there. But the reason why I want to... Actually, no, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I mean, I'm going to start it. I'm basically going to start it at a very, very high price, and I will reduce it every weekend by probably about 5%, all the way down to £1. I'm not going to stop until it's sold. Now, if someone sees it for £1, they're going to snap it up. So I think it's unlikely that it will go for £1, but you never know. There is a chance there. I'm going to just let the market find its own level, as I'm inclined to do. But I'm going to start this at a high price, and then it will go down. Now, if you click the link in the description, then you will, and it's an affiliate link, so if you end up buying something, then I make a few pence, which I'll be very grateful for. I'm an approved eBay affiliate, I have to say that, and it's no cost to you. But if you click the link, you will come across this binder, and check it regularly. And if the price. I mean, when you look at this and click the link, who knows? I mean, it might be immediately I've put it online, which I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it online. I'm going to put it online after I've put this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post this on YouTube before it goes online, so that if you're interested, you will know that it's already there. It is, so you'll be at the ready, because, as you know, with a Dutch auction, you can't hang about. If you want it, you're going to have to just, as soon as you see it, you're going to have to dive in. So click the link, and if it's not there, then it's because you've seen this and you've seen the video, and I've only just uploaded the video. But if it's in a year's time you watch this video, I mean, I'm recording this in mid-November 2022. If you look at this video in this time next year, it won't be there. But if that happens, once it has sold, I will actually put how much it sold, so that in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 15 years' time, who knows, you can see, oh, it sold for that much. So that's I think that's important, because people, you just got to know. Sometimes you just got to know, and it's not possible on eBay to find out how much something has sold after I think you can find out that it stays on their system for 90 days, at least the main system, and then it drops off the back, so then you cannot see it. So I will make a point. I'll put a note in my diary, in my filofax, to put the type in the selling price after then. This isn't a direct. I haven't got a direct link to this. Or the link is just to items I'm selling on eBay right now, and so you'll see this amongst others. Maybe the only one, maybe none, or there may be like 20. Who knows? It all depends on when you click the link. But the link will show you everything I have for sale right now. Some of them may be traditional English auctions, and some of them, like this, will be a Dutch auction where fortune favours the brave. If you want this, then it's the first person that puts their hand up gets it, basically. So it will start at a ridiculous price, and you might think, crikey, that's a lot, but you will know that the price will reduce each weekend, all the way down to £1 if necessary, and at some point my value will match your value, and if it's still available, you have to strike while the iron is hot. But bear in mind that other people will be considering the same thing, so it is a battle of wits, and I do appreciate that, but I think it's much fairer to. I mean, I've explained this before in a previous video. I think it's much better for everyone if you keep these things moving. So reduce the price until the item is sold, even going down to £1 if necessary. So it is important, I think, and I think it's fair. So. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get a nice cup of tea, and do you know what? I'm so pleased with it being so dark and wet and cold in the UK at the moment. I'm so pleased I've started filming indoors, because I'm just trying to make sure that my cough doesn't get any worse and become a full-blown incapacity. So. Thank you for watching. This is 42 minutes long, which is ridiculous, but I'll put chapters in so that you can navigate to the appropriate settings. What am I talking about? Okay. I've got to go. We're down. We're gone. Bye for now.